Good evening. My name is Kimmy Tennessee, and I stand before you tonight as the proud surviving sister of Army Captain Brian Matthew Bunting, killed in Afghanistan on February 24th, 2009. There are moments in life that divide us into before and after. For my family, that moment was the knock at the door. In the days that followed, I wondered how the world could keep turning when ours had stopped. But when we found TAPS, or maybe TAPS found us, and we learned that even in the depths of grief, there are people who will step forward to carry the weight with you. People who understand that honoring our fallen means caring for the families they left behind. And among those remarkable people is Coach Quinn. Coach Quinn has not only been a friend to TAPS, he has been a lifeline for many of us. Whether on the field or off, he has never wavered from his mission to create moments for survivors like me, moments of joy we never thought possible after losing everything. My children, Oakley, Harley, and Penelope, never met their Uncle Bubba, our family nickname for Brian. Yet through TAPS, through experiences like the Washington Commanders Salute to Service event we attended last year, they got to know him. Being able to talk about Brian, his love of football and family, and his service to our country with Coach Quinn allows us to keep his memory alive. These meaningful moments with our favorite teams, go Commanders, feel like gifts from my brother to my family. Because of Coach Quinn, we've not only stood on fields where our heroes cheered for their champions, but we've been welcomed, embraced, and honored, but as living legacies of their service and sacrifice. He has understood what so few do, that the greatest tribute to our fallen is not just to remember their names, but to care for those they loved the most. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring the 2025 recipient of the TAPS Senator Ted Stevens Leadership Award, a man who has stood with us and brought light to the darkest corners of our grief, a true friend to every family of the fallen, Coach Dan Quinn.
Hail to the commanders, hail victory. Fight for our commanders, fight for all we see. Run on, West Coast, we want a lot more. Freedom solo, touchdown, let the point soar. Fight on, till we have won all of Washington. Rah, rah, rah. Hail to the commanders, hail victory. Fight for our commanders, fight for all these holy fight for all these.
Man, what an honor. I'm honestly overwhelmed by the weight of this award, what it means, who it's from. I'm definitely overwhelmed. The greatest joy of my life has been coaching football, but the greatest privilege is my relationship with the military. The service members, the veterans, and every single one of their families. My wife Stacy and I have been so very blessed to meet. What a team indeed. I continue to be in awe of the TAPS team. It's a family that nobody wants to join, and yet I marvel at the dignity, the grace, and the courage that every single one of you embody. You truly leave me in awe. I first felt that, and I felt that when I met Bonnie. Because I say felt because every one of you in this room, you don't meet Bonnie, you feel her. Because knowing Bonnie means you will know what a hug should feel like. The love, the compassion, and the intention. In my opinion, Bonnie and Diana, they are pro wrestling's tag team of hugs and love. They do not welcome you into the family, they hug you into the family. They love you into this TAPS family. And the privilege that comes with the inclusion of this family is getting to learn about each one of your heroes, where they grew up, what they joined, when they enlisted, what sports they played, what team they rooted for. I get to know them through you. That includes United States Army Captain Brian Bunting. Captain Bunting grew up with his parents and 5 siblings, who you just met, about 22 miles from here in Rockville, Maryland. Brian excelled at everything he did, from academics to football, wrestling, and lacrosse. But the description I love hearing the most is that he did it all with a big smile on his face. Brian was a class president, member of the National Honor Society, an all-Metro football player, and a state champion wrestler. After high school, Brian was appointed to the United States Military Academy at West Point. There he played lacrosse and graduated in 2002 with a degree in civil engineering. He was also presented with the prestigious and, in my opinion, awesome Fat Man Award given by one's peers to the person who was full of life. Now that's a hell of an award. Brian loved his family, his wife Nikki and their 2 sons, Connor and Cooper, and man, he loved football. He made game days part of his Sunday Skype calls home from wherever he was around the world. So when people ask me about this collaboration, combining military and football, I know what I get out of it, what my side gets out of it. That's as clear as day. But what I hope and what I pray, what you get out of it, is just maybe a minute of joy, a minute of lightness, some healing, and a beautiful connection to a loved one who also loved football. I know Captain Brian Bunting did. So when part of his family joined me for a commander's practice last season, I got to know Brian through his family. And so, man, I'm so honored to have such a kind intro from Kimmy and Paul, who also brought their children, Oakley, Harley, and Penelope here tonight. So let's give them a round of applause, man. So thank you again to the both of you and your entire family. So every extended family, that's what we are, has an origin story. And I'm going to share a story that will explain how ours with the military and football came to be, you and me. How one hallway encounter after the 2015 NFL season led me here. So that Falcons team that I coached finished 8-8. I'd preached 2 words over and over again all season. It was connection, this culture. And I thought I had had it until I realized in one moment that actually we didn't have either. At the end of that season, we released a veteran player, somebody that I thought provided some leadership to the team. So I was walking him downstairs into the locker room. He saw a rookie teammate who played the same position. And he said, "Hey, man, I'll miss you, bro. Let me get your number." Man, that was like a dagger to my heart. Things I'd been preaching, none of this. They played on the same unit, they played the same position, and they didn't even have each other's phone numbers. A wave overcame me, man. I had failed it. I totally missed it. So now what? What do you do? Where can I truly go to create a culture and a connection I was absolutely committed to building? Every one of you knows where I turned. Hell, you knew it before I did. You go to the embodiment of team. You go to the military. So I called 2 of my Navy SEAL friends, Bill Hart and Mark Walker, from the Acumen Performance Group, and say, "Hey, man, our connections aren't what I thought they would be. Our standards, they're not what I thought." I said, "We need your help. When I read a SEAL ethos, I know exactly what they stand for." So I said, "What do we stand for as a team? Help us write that. More importantly, help us live that, what that standard is." The following season, the team had gone to the Super Bowl. So that's where our relationship began from my end. Since then, it has led me to military bases all over the world, in Guam, in Hawaii, in Washington State, and here in DC, Iraq, USO tours, and tours of Walter Reed Hospital. But I don't know if I truly saw the entire picture until TAPS. TAPS completed the circle for me. Because it's not just the soldiers who make the sacrifice. It begins and can heartbreakingly end with yours. So we started bringing some families to the Atlanta Falcons Salute to Service game starting in 2016 with 63 families. Something only Bonnie and her team could pull off, there's no question. 63 TAPS families to pair up with 63 players and coaches to honor 63 fallen heroes. One year, the families were housed in dorms on campus at the Falcons training facility. They attended a walkthrough on Saturday where they got to spend time with that player that was honoring that hero and playing for them in that game. All cool highlights for sure, but I'll tell you my favorite, and I wanted to share it with you. In 2019, to honor TAPS' 25th anniversary, we invited 94 families. 1994 is when Bonnie founded TAPS. So from all over the country for the Salute to Service program, the first night we hosted the families at the stadium for a welcome dinner and surprised them with a visit to the locker room. As they walked in, like most locker rooms, there was a jersey hanging in the locker. But here's where the difference is. The jerseys didn't have the current player's name on them. They had the name of their hero, their name. And so watching those families walk into that locker room and see their loved ones on those jerseys, now that was a moment. After that weekend, we were gifted a giant American flag with the names of all 94 families on it. And that flag hangs now and forever in Stacy and I's home. People ask, what do the families get out of this partnership? But man, they're asking the wrong question. The right question is, what do we get out of it? Although honestly, I don't have enough time nor the words to adequately answer the way it deserves to be answered, but I do know, man, do we get perspective. There are too many stories of loss in this room, but I also know, man, there's just as many stories of faith and resilience and hope and love. And the privilege and the honor of hearing them is never, ever lost on me. I was told by a TAPS mother who had lost her son, and it's never left me. He said, Dan, you lose a loved one twice. Once when they die, and again when people stop talking about them. And because of TAPS, that doesn't happen here, ever. Those names stay on our lips. And Stacy and I, we treasure every single button that we have been given. Each one, each story, each brother, each sister, son, daughter, husband, wife, mother or father, each hero. It's awesome. We have been so proud to have TAPS alongside of us during our football journey, from Atlanta to Dallas and now here home in the DMV. But no road has meant more to me than the day before the game, the one I find myself on frequently. Every home game, driving to the hotel and then to the stadium, it's the same route. And it may not be the fastest way, but for us, it's the most meaningful way. We make sure to drive by Arlington National Cemetery, and man, we drive slow. I want to make sure we feel that weight, your weight. And so I'm so incredibly moved by this honor, but please know that the work that I do with TAPS is the very least that I and all of us in this country can do. Because the true honor goes to each one of you in this room and every one of your loved ones who may not be with us tonight physically, but I think we all know they are here indeed, tonight and always. So God bless each one of them, God bless each one of you, and God bless America. Love you guys.